Thank you, Mason. Welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 85 for May
Well, it
the
says off air still.
30th. I
No, it
think
doesn't.
it's the
Yeah,
30th, 2016. If you guys could shut up, you can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter is SwineBros666. Because they interrupted my intro, they don't get to introduce themselves. My name is Elliott Lindemood, along with Mason, Pierman, and Chaz.
World Almighty.
No, you're just Chaz. You don't get to introduce yourself because
You have to
interrupted
respect my
stream.
pronouns, bitch.
I don't care.
Respect the pronouns.
Here's
Respect
Mason
sir.
Mason the anti-elitist and Chaz the cunt.
I don't even call myself the anti-elitist anymore.
Mason, you just plan to be like a little Flavor Flav to me, that whatever I say you're just going to repeat in a more annoying voice.
Come on, the anti-elitist thing was hysterical.
I
Besides,
guess it was, but like, you know, I was such an idiot back then. Not that I'm not now, but still.
you left that fucking cringy message on Metalgate a couple months ago that we laughed at on the show.
Dude, all the friggin' elitists in the Metalgate group cried over to Scott.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
Scott's
they did. He told me.
Scott's just as big a moron as you are, and we all know that.
Dude.
We like to take the piss out of Scott because he's funny, and at least he has good taste sometimes. But in actuality, I mean, I think the real leaders of the Metalgate are people like Corey and shit like that. Because at least, but yeah, Scott's just as big a moron as you are. Anyway,
nah, he's a little less of a moron.
oh, he's a moron about some things. Speaking of Scott, I'd like to thank everyone who watched the Indy 500 live stream we did
calls
yesterday.
me a nigger slut. Sometimes.
Scott and I. That's what you are. Chaz seems to think I enjoy provoking people.
I think you did secretly.
I mean, was I expecting some basically what happened was I read a few too many fundamentalist atheist posts, and I just kind of fucking went off because I was really tired, and it's just like...
I said they're not fundamentalist atheists. They're just pricks who happen to be atheists.
No, they're fundamentalist atheists.
They're not. You can't be a fundamentalist atheist.
Yes, they don't...
They proved you right.
Yes, Chaz, that you can be. It's called having faith in atheism. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go talk to some of them. Go talk to some of them.
They treat it like a goddamn religion.
Treating atheism...
And I know some people like to say, oh, atheism isn't a religion. Well, true, because religion requires faith. But then again, you know, you have faith in atheism.
A lot of atheists
then you're treating atheism like a religion.
I mean, you've never heard of...
have religions which are atheistic, but atheism isn't
like
a faith.
Atheistic Judaism.
We're not... See, okay, wait. The problem, Chaz, is you're conflating every atheist. We're talking about the anti-theists. I call them fundamentalist atheists because they don't just treat atheism as a belief system. They literally... if there were crusades to convert people to atheism, they would do it. Okay, it is a religion to them. Same thing with the American humanists.
The crusades were
deluded
spastics. Error.
Look, so you mean deluded spastics, deluded paranoid spastics. That's
that
fine.
Are now the face of the atheist community.
No, they're really not, because most atheists think these people are pricks. Just like most people on the fucking left hate the regressive far left. Most people on the right hate the fucking far right Nazis.
Have you seen the Reason Rally? That the face of the Reason Rally are these secular humanist pricks. I mean, I detest secular humanism with a passion.
Yeah, because you're anti-humanist. Fuck humanity.
I take it what you've got your bee in your bonnet about is this Reason Rally, yeah?
What I have a bee in my bonnet about is that I spent 3 years in this community hearing the same old tired arguments again and again and again, hearing the same old
Yes,
people.
that's because there are some stupid people who can't think for themselves, and they like having the same conversations. That's generally because they've got other shit in their life they need to deal with.
And that kind of led me into thinking, well, maybe there's something different. So I went on my own journey of self-discovery. I still have a lot of atheist friends, and I know, am I saying that all atheists are moron regression?
Fundamentalists? No.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I got tired of reading statuses about over and over and over again. The only way to get the world right is to convert everyone to atheism. Atheism is going to save the world. I mean,
and I'm like,
that do you have ever seen that South Park?
I'm sorry, I've never actually seen anybody give that argument ever. I probably
I've never seen it either, but if that is what their argument is, then it's
his name was Lou DeRosier, or whatever his name is, and that was his art. I will find it for you, and I will give you the quote.
Go on then, because I've heard people make arguments that if the world became more
I will
secular,
find it here.
It would be a much better society, and that's not an unfair stretch.
And Elliott, didn't you say you had some sort of Satanist view now?
I'm sorry. What? I'm looking at what?
Didn't you say you had some sort of atheist, like Satanist view now?
I'm Satanist. Yes, I'm not an atheist anymore.
Well, let me just say this. I mean, even in like the Christian doctrine, from what I've read, Satan is actually the one who cares. I mean, angels, they don't care about humanity. They care about God. And Lucifer was one of the only ones who actually cared about humanity, instead of just being some drone who was like, God is great, God is great. Oh, look how he's torturing Joe. God is great. Oh, look at all the diseases he's flushing around humanity. God is great. God is a fucking kid with a magnifying glass and an ant farm, and we are his puppets.
I was just debunking some. I'll have to search for a little bit. He's one of my friends, but he was basically saying how, look at all the Judaism, Christianity, and Islam will start World War III. Atheism is the only way to prevent wars. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I just kept thinking about that South Park episode where they had the atheist wars or whatever.
Oh my. Atheism isn't going to stop wars because there are atheist warmongers.
I mean, but the thing about atheism is that it's you agree with them on one sentence that there is no God. But the thing about but what I was trying to say really quickly is
there's going to be a war within the atheist community.
I'm sorry, I just have to challenge the point here. Because somebody who has called himself an atheist was a twat, you didn't like the atheist label anime, so you become
No. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I heard this time and time again. I'd already come to the conclusion.
So there's a couple of pricks.
No.
So you went
stop. Let me finish my damn sentence for once. Seriously. So I kept hearing this again, and I agree with it. And I was like, and then I started reading a little bit about Left Hand Path. I was like, this is really interesting, but, well, I'm an atheist, but I'm going to dive into it, and it spoke to me a lot more than atheism ever did. So it wasn't just, the whole thing about, there's a lot of Satanists I don't like, but I could deal, no, so it's not that, it
spoke to me in a way that nothing else did. I've heard people describe cults like that.
Well, good, I don't care. Honestly,
and cunts as well, which is what I almost said.
Yeah. Well, hey, hi, Chaz. Paul calling the kettle black there for a second?
Well, I'm not in a cult.
You're a cunt, though.
Yeah, and it's cunts like me that make dicks like you stand to attention. What now, boy?
Whatever. I don't care. If you say I'm in a cult, I don't really care. But No, it had more meaning for me than atheism ever had, so I changed. But the funny thing is, when I changed, right, I got so much. I mean, because it's not like I went from to a gibbering religious nutter, because I never talk about it except for with people who I. Hi, Mason. Who I. Oh, he's back. Because so what it was that. Sorry, I need to turn this down because your voice is bleeding through my fucking headset. Very loud.
Whose?
My voice is bleeding through your thing, and I can hear it.
There you are. Turn my headset down.
Thank you. Yes, it was. I hear. Sorry,
I have to turn you up a bit. You stammer on, and sometimes I just sort of start tuning you out if you're not loud.
I don't care because I don't like you. You stammer on too, you know.
Yeah, at least I'm interesting when I do it.
No, you're not. I mean, I get bored and start looking at YouTube videos. Anyway,
What do you think I'm doing right now, motherfucker?
good because I don't like you.
Good. Because I
hope you know
hope you don't. I really do.
You're. Oh, you know what? Then I really do like you. You're my best friend.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go and commit suicide now then. Just like all of your best friends in your life will.
Yeah, true, and I await the day when they do. I'll enjoy that. Anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, so it's just
I tell you what, no, Elliott. Most of the friends you have won't kill yourself because whenever you annoy them, all they have to do is stick their fingers up at you, and you can't see it, and that's the way that they cope.
Whatever.
Just like everywhere you go, everyone is, trust me, sticking their fingers up at you, like swearing at you.
And they're not doing that with you? Your voice is fucking annoying.
Nah. I inflict this on people deliberately because I'm a sociopath.
Why do you think I started this show? Because it's my dream.
Because I told you to.
No, you didn't. You taught me how, but no, because it's my dream or all that shit that I say. No, that's not why. Pfft, you morons. I do it because I want to torture people with my voice.
Right.
But the thing that I always found funny was that whenever I changed, it's not like I went from, to religious nutter. I changed, and it was a personal thing. I don't care. But the thing is that as soon as I admitted that I wasn't an atheist anymore, the atheist, whatever you want to call it, groups on Facebook seemed to treat me like I was some sort of blind faith believer in this God, and I hated science, and that I was part of the problem, and that I was no better than a Christian. And I'm just like, did I
No,
ever?
that doesn't mean that. I mean, there are deists out there. Thomas Jefferson was a deist. There are people who believe in science but aren't like total atheist, agnostic theist. There are so many different beliefs out there. You don't have to be an atheist to believe in science. These freaking idiots who think that the only way to believe in science is to be a freaking atheist. And I'm just like,
welcome to the atheist community.
There is no such thing as an atheist community. Yes. There are communities of atheists, but there's no such thing as an atheist community.
When I say the atheist, I mean online. I mean online and on Facebook.
There isn't even an online one. There are several online ones. Trust me, right? Okay, I hang around quite a lot around the great debates people, yeah? I know quite a lot of atheists. Trust me, some of them are real pricks. And one of the things we have, if you actually look at a lot of the hangouts that atheists have, they generally talk about how much they hate certain types of atheism.
No, see, okay.
They actually make up special names to describe the other atheism.
I'm talking about
to demonize it.
Because that's basically what I do. I can't do the great debates thing because I go on there and they talk and I fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't really go on them anymore, but I've heard these people talking in the past.
But, I mean, it has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't get a warning. It was just, I criticized, I criticized the atheist community when I was a full-blown atheist. Or, the atheist.
No, you were criticizing individual atheists. Or a group of individuals. You weren't criticizing the whole of atheism.
Everyone I come across online who seems to be a member of all the groups and who seem to be the loudest, okay? Those are the people I am
What,
criticizing.
you mean some fucking wackadoo nut jobs? Yeah. Any single construct out there is gonna have them. My Little Pony, look at bronies.
Oh God!
Well,
Don't
every My
even
Little...
get me
Come on,
started on the
come on,
cloppers.
Chaz. Come on,
Oh
Chaz. Every My
yeah.
Little Pony fan needs...
The juggalos, fuck them too. You know.
I ain't a
There are
juggalo, but I always juggle
weirdos in
hoes.
every
Well,
group.
I got shit from moderate atheists too, Chaz. It's not just the extreme. I got shit from moderate atheists too. They thought I was some sort of traitor or something.
Who?
Moderate atheists. I got some, they thought I was some sort of
Moderate
traitor.
atheists thought you were a traitor. I don't think
Yes.
you're a traitor. I think
Then those aren't even freaking moderates. I'm a moderate, and I don't think you're a fucking traitor.
Well, you're different then, but yeah, I got a lot of shit from people who... Well,
they claim to be moderates.
Yeah, they claim to be moderate, but they're just as extreme as freaking.
Well, see, and also,
extremists.
I think most people in the atheist community or whatever, I think most atheists need to hear this and need to hear dissenting opinions. I think people should be force-fed dissenting opinions. If I'm honest, I think people should.
Yeah, they're always good. Next.
I think people should be forced to hear what the other side has to say. So the fact is that if you think I'm accusing all the atheists, yes, I am. You know what? Spread this around to every atheist you know. And force them to hear my words. And then force them to listen to Chaz for 5 seconds, see if they don't kill themselves.
Oh, a lot of them have listened to me for more than 5 seconds.
And all of them...
What's funny, though, is you actually have more in common with atheists than freaking religious fundamentalists, because you're more of a Satanist.
Well, I mean, oh, fuck, I don't know what you're doing.
I know
you're not criticizing atheism as a whole.
To hold up their worldviews. I don't see them as any different.
That's your opinion, Chaz, and I don't care about your opinion. I've long since... But, I mean, yeah, in that respect, I'm...
But you said people should be force-fed differing opinions, and then you say you don't care about someone's opinion.
I've heard his opinion. I've heard his opinion so many times, it doesn't even matter. But I'm saying people who don't usually get different opinions should be forced. But I've heard his opinion so many times, it just kind of doesn't matter, really, what he says.
Yeah, you like listening, bitch. Shut up.
I don't like listening. In fact, if I could kick you off the show, I would.
Go on, then.
No, I can't. I need someone who I hate.
Why could you need me?
I need someone I hate.
Sorry, you've just admitted to my power. You've just given me this in the negotiation. I now have all of the power.
Good, white power.
Yes, indeed.
See, Kyle. But I just think it's funny that...
Thank you for asking.
I just think it's funny that the... people react so negatively to something that is... I'm not...
Different. It's basically the social justice mantra. Fuck the opposition.
Yes, I mean, and by the way, the Reason Rally was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I got shit for that. Well, the Reason Rally is some sort of atheist echo chamber, where a bunch of atheists get together and chant about how they hate
I mean, not only are a lot of these atheists, but you know what else is cancer? Atheism Plus, where they pretty much made atheism into a social justice campaign for communism or some bullshit.
No, they just basically tried to turn irreligiosity into a religion.
And and also the thing about Satanism is you get people with different opinions. You get LaVeyan Satanists, you get theistic Satanists, you get people who believe in kind of both. You get different opinions and you get different schools of thought to think about. I go to an atheist convention and, hey, do you believe in God? No, man, neither do I. Yeah, I'm just like...
And someone like Steve Shives, dude, that guy's a cuck. The guy's a literal cuck.
So
yeah, no one likes Steve Shives.
The thing about things like the Reason Rally. Hello, Eric. The thing about things like the Reason Rally is just like I don't need to hear any of these arguments. I want to hear something different. I like difference. I don't want to hear Richard Dawkins quotes recycled 20 times. That's not
well,
my...
then don't fucking go.
Then don't listen to Richard Dawkins. I mean, Dawkins makes some decent.
Okay, hold on. I just wanna say something to Elliott, right? I don't like metal. I don't think Gwar should be allowed to make music.
Okay, well, your opinion is inherently inferior.
I don't think that Gwar should be holding live events. I don't think people should be paying to go see Gwar.
Yes, okay, fine, whatever. But are you
What's your hate
bombarded
boner for Gwar
with messages from different people every day talking about you should go to the Reason Rally, 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 you should go to the Reason Rally. I am bombarded with that every day about, oh my God, Elliott, you should go to the Reason Rally, oh my God, Elliott, you should go to the Reason Rally, Reason Rally, Reason Rally. And it's just like, I don't care. The only place where you're going to hear about Gwar is on my chat, which you can ignore if you so wish. I can't ignore 20 messages a day talking about the Reason Rally, or talking about Christopher Hitchens, or Richard Dawson, or Sam Harry, or whatever that, or, you know.
Do you mean Sam Harris?
I mean Sam Harry, Richard Dawson, Christopher Hitchcock, or any of the other fuckers.
Yeah, it's good if you're not interested in it. Why still talk to these people? Just go, look, you're a boring cunt. I think you're a bit of a dick. Fucking jog on.
I do, and they keep messaging me. I don't talk to these people.
Tell them to stop it. Or just go, just look. Every time they send you a message, just follow it on with a your mama joke.
I've started sending them scat porn pics, actually.
Well, there you go.
Have
your own personal stash here, I assume?
I'm sorry, I'm allowed to vent, so shut up. It's my show, I'm allowed to vent and talk about things that annoy me.
Just get them right, though.
They are right. You're not in my life, are you? Are you fucking me?
No, but I can hear you talk, and it's just like,
That's your opinion. I think I'm a little more active on things like Facebook than you are.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen you in any other fucking groups, dude. Granted, I left most
there's a reason for this. I don't need groups to define me.
No.
Right? I could. There are certain concepts due to the law of identity that define me. I am an irreligious atheist. I do not believe in God, nor do I hold any religion. I try and stay away from ideologies. I'm an egalitarian. I do believe in some measure of equality. I'm also very libertarian. I do agree with freedom, with certain private rights. I also agree with certain
but can
public
I just
rights.
say, I joined these groups when I was a little teenager who needed to belong. It lasted all about 10 seconds, and I've left most of them.
It's really just playground drama. You see, I've never really been for that.
However,
I'm a grown-up.
People keep adding me to these groups. People add me to
different groups or unfollow them.
I can't go through fucking all those groups that people add me to. I got added to 30 groups today. I'm not going through all those to unfollow them, dude. I mean, I could pay you to do it.
Okay, do. I'll happily go through.
I'll pay you. I'll give you Eric.
I'll make sure everybody knows not to add you to atheist groups.
Oh, I've fucking made pretty damn clear.
But instead, what I'll do is I'll sign you up to the Juggalo and Brony community.
If you do that,
I'll add you to a couple of furry fucking rooms as well, yeah?
I'm added to a couple furry rooms, actually.
Well, there you go.
Oh, God, furries? Come on.
I'm into
furries. Well, you can keep that to yourself, Mason, you dirty pervert.
I'm not into them, but I'm in a couple furry groups, and they are some weird motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. I mean, being in one furry group is weird, but you promised that with a couple. Almost like you're trying to admit something without admitting something. Are you a secret furry? Is Swine Brothers your alternate? Is it?
I have nothing hidden. I'll tell you that I'm in like.
Is Swine a sloppy bottom, or
no?
Or is Swine the top hat?
I'll tell you that I'm into like
tails.
I'll tell you that I'm into like big women groups or whatever. But no, I was added by friends to furry groups.
Yes, friends. Yes.
No. To try.
Friends added you, like that hypothetical friend who may have, seen some weird-looking warts on his penis after he slept with this really disgusting bird he met in a pub. That sort of friend,
yeah. Bro.
Well, they added me to try and gross me out, and when I said I think that's funny, they kind of got the fact that you cannot gross me out.
Yeah, no one can gross you out because you're blind.
You're a moron, Mason. I mean, I've seen and done everything. You cannot gross me out. You've seen and
done everything?
My friend had a diaper fetish magazine, and he was like reading it to me, thinking he would gross me out, and I was just like, okay.
Oh my
I like the way you premise that with the type of people you hang out.
Who the hell has a diaper fetish of all things?
What's that, Chaz?
It's just the way you premise that with I had this one friend who had a... I think you secretly go around and try all of these things. But the thing is, I think you just go around... I mean, what... How do you know you've got a fucking diaper magazine in your hand or a copy of the Auto Trader?
No, he was
He probably has a diaper magazine because he wants to suck on a little baby shit.
Chaz, what you don't get is, like, with people like me, we gravitate towards these people, okay? We don't have to look for them. We gravitate towards people who are as weird as we are.
Look for them?
So,
it's still not got boring.
The thing about that is, he was like, hey...
Juliana theory.
He was trying to basically see if I would be grossed out by it. Basically, like, hey, look hey, here's what I got. I'll read something. And I was just like, oh, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, that's the thing is people like us. Well, not you. You're normie. People like me.
I'm a normie. Sorry, who do you think you are, Rob fucking Beasley?
Normies.
You're a fucking normie.
You're a fucking beat. Look, right? I'm gonna help you out, right? What you've got to start doing now, Elliott, is talking about the story of two wolves, right? Now, as I understand it, there are these two wolves inside everybody, yeah? Now, one's the good wolf, and one's the bad wolf, yeah? And it's this old Cherokee story. It's not.
Yes, I know the fucking story.
Yeah,
the only thing is one day the bad wolf ripped the good wolf's throat out, so unfortunately he's dead inside me. His body's starting to decay. It's kind of disgusting. I mean, when I take a shit, dude, oh, that's some decaying wolf in there. And that shut Chaz up. I've done the unthinkable.
No, I was waiting for you to finish. I thought you were going to keep going.
Oh, God.
Just like you, Adam Sandler too likes to make pathetic poo jokes and stretch them out for far too long. So I was waiting for you to finish.
Don't ever compare me to Adam Sandler.
Dude, speaking of Adam Sandler,
I
found a hell of a deal at the store that I was at today. 4 movies by them for $10.
And what does that tell you about the quality of his work? I rest my case.
That's a great story, Mason, although I don't care.
You know what, Mason? You should write that story down and tell it to your grandchildren.
51st Dates.
Like you're going to have any.
Nah. Yeah, true. You know, Mason's like 4. I think he's 4. How old are you?
Dude, I'll be 17 in a couple months.
And have you seen your first minge yet?
Just shut him up.
I'm going to take that as a no. Don't worry, it will eventually happen for you.
You know what? I got to say this. As much as Chaz infuriates me, and granted, most of the time I'm wanting to put his head through his computer screen and just watch him slowly bleed out. There's some times where I remember why we have him on this show.
Because when he's an ass?
Yes.
Elliott, pull your tongue out my arsehole. That's what dogs do.
No, that's Eric who's got that.
Shut up.
Elliott's a pedophile, but he's not a monster.
You know this person who was reading you the fucking scat porn or whatever it was, the fucking nappy fetish, was that Eric? It's always the quiet ones, isn't it? Eric, you fucking
Eric knows who it was. It was Johnny.
I know who it was, and I'm sworn to secrecy on it.
You can tell it was you can tell it was Johnny
you beaner.
Okay, I can tell it. It was his old friend Johnny Puke.
He's dead. Doesn't really matter what anyone thinks of him, does it?
Yeah. Johnny Puke.
Yeah.
We never actually learned his last name, unfortunately. So we just call him Puke.
Was the Sex Pistols.
Fuck Sex Pistols, dude. Seriously. I mean, I like the Sex Pistols, but every 13-year-old punk is like, "God save the Queen." I'm just like, do you know anything else other than the Sex Pistols and the Ramones? Oh, you don't know Discharge? Well, good. You don't deserve to know Discharge. And then they know Discharge, and it fucking fucks me up. No, he was this old scum punk who I got into his little group, and we became friends, and then he died, and then my life fell apart and for about 4 years, but I'm not getting into that.
See, do you know what, Elliot? You have an advantage above everybody else, right? You're privileged. Because you don't have eyes, and human beings being such visual creatures, there is very little that can creep you out, because we're majority creeped out by things we see. So you have actually evolved to be immune.
No, I can hear, though.
You can hear, but that still does nothing. There's only a few things which actually trigger an auditory response. Way more triggers visual response.
The thing is though, people, it's called imagination. You have to I know what things look like, so all you have to do is...
No, you don't. You have a made-up idea of what things look like.
It's called being...
You, my friend, are actually one person that, in this case, solid system actually fucking works in. Because you have no idea of what reality is like outside of your head.
It's called being around and feeling things, okay?
Yes. Yeah, and how do you verify what you feel? You see, I can use my eyes to verify my hands. You can't use your eyes to verify certain things. So you cannot comment on the looks of things.
So, do you really think that without... See, okay, I'm astounded by some of these questions that I get, not from you, but from other people. Because it's almost to me like they don't actually have hands or anything, or they don't actually trust anything that they... Shut up. That they don't actually trust their hands or anything. Because it's like, well, how do I know that I'm touching my hand? It's like, are you a fucking moron?
Well, no, you can feel your hand, yeah, but you can't see how light reflects off your hand to tell certain depths that you can't feel.
No, but if you feel a rotted body, it's going to feel like a rotted body, and that's going to feel disgusting. If you feel slime, it's not going to feel pleasant unless you like slime. If you feel a snail, it's going to feel disgusting on you. So I know what shit feels like, and I know what...
Yeah, you know what shit feels like, but you don't know what it looks like. And you
don't know
what
I don't know what it looks like.
Well, it does. That's
okay, Mason, if you're going to move around and yawn and shit, mute yourself, because that's really distracting.
It's like being in a hangout with an asthmatic Wookiee.
Yes, it kind of is.
So I was about to say, I was actually about to go on a little bit of a tangent, but you know.
Mason, we're saving you from that because you always embarrass yourself when you do that. You know that. He knows it too.
I don't think he just embarrasses himself. I think he lets down the whole species.
Touche, mate.
Well, how do you fucking know?
Well, how would I know? Let's just call it an educated guess, shall we? Or a guesstimate.
But like, there was this anti-Obama meme that I think is bullshit. I mean, I have my criticism of Obama, but half of this is bullshit.
Congratulations, you've just given the opinion that most sane people reached fucking, I don't know now, 8 years ago? Well, congratulations. I'll give you a clap.
I think Mason and Wolf King should do a hangout
together. Just like I gave your mum the clap as well.
Chaz.
Yes?
Mason and Wolf King should do a hangout together.
Wolf King?
Yes.
They would be the dream team. They could just recycle regurgitated opinions back and forth.
What vaguely sounds like something...
But here's some of the criticisms He has exploded our debt. Most of that was in the first term, and also he inherited a $1.4 trillion deficit.
What's that, Chaz?
Yes, congratulations. You can read. Most people knew this many years ago. You're finally catching up.
People are recycling the stupid Tea Party.
I know, and what you're doing is you're recycling the other side of that stupid nonsense. Yes. I mean, what you were trying to, Mason, you were trying to join in with Elliott on your criticising of the so-called atheism community. But what you're now doing is you're now guilty of doing much the same as what those atheists were doing. So you, sir, now are becoming rather a hypocrite. It's a horse of a different colour.
Yes. I mean, you know what? I rag on Eric a lot, but at least he has his own opinions. Granted, I disagree with most of them, but at least he has his own opinions. Granted, I do have to yell at him for regurgitating things like blabbermouth, but at least he has his own damn opinions. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless I tell him to have a different opinion.
Unless it's stuff that I really don't care about either way.
Eric, what do you think about Chaz? He's a cunt.
Yeah, Chaz is cool.
He's a cunt.
See, look, I'm cool. Go fuck yourself. Hey.
Yeah,
hey, Eric, what do you think of...
The fucking Mexican jumping bean calls you cool.
Hold on, wait a minute, what, Chaz?
What do you think of Elliott?
What haven't I said to him in the almost 8 years that we've known each other?
He said things such as, I used to vaguely wake up and wish you were dead, things like that. Oh yeah.
So I'm being a hypocrite because, you know, I'm defending Obama on things that are basically bullshit criticisms.
Chaz, you take this. I can't be bothered anymore.
Sir, I wasn't even listening to what he said. I kind of drowned his voice out.
He said that you're calling me a hypocrite because I'm defending Obama against these bullshit criticisms?
But it is bullshit. I mean, he inherited a huge deficit, so no doubt he's exploding the debt.
But the thing is, Mason, Pratt.
Well,
Pratt.
he is. He is.
Pratt.
Countries that have gone for austerity have had to increase their debt. The rich are making money off of this debt and burdening it onto the poor. That's what every government that's gone for austerity is doing. If you're only just figuring this out now, you quite clearly haven't known anything about the politics of the last sort of 40 years. And if you don't understand the politics of the last 40 years, you won't understand why what you're saying is either redundant or dumb.
Pratt, point refuted 1,000 times. Everything you've said has been refuted to the point where there's no point refuting it over again, because it's just been said over and over and over again. Personally, I mean, why do you care what some person you never met says about Obama? Why does it matter to you what Joe Moron there with his fucking trailer park, sitting in his trailer park in Oklahoma beating his wife says about damn Barack? I don't care.
Look, I think some of these criticisms, they're just being partisans and making up stuff to.
Well, yes, that's how politics works these days, Mason.
Yeah, it's like reality television.
I mean, but you're saying things that have been said, as Chaz said, 8 years ago. It doesn't matter what Joe Moron says about Obama. It doesn't matter what Chaz says about whatever I believe. Am I going to stick up for what I believe because some British moron says so? I don't care what he fucking says. He has no brain.
Hey! I let your people away with one of those fucking rebel talks once, and look at the state you got yourselves into.
Okay, you win that one. You win. No, but what I'm saying is...
And if you want to see how bad that state's got to, it's Hillary Clinton or it's Donald Trump. It's essentially a turd sandwich or a turd sandwich with mustard.
Oh, yeah, that is a turd sandwich.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. As soon as he said that, I just kind of give up on life there for a minute.
Like, here's one of the worst parts. Oh, erased our border. He's been deporting people in higher numbers than other presidents.
Chaz?
Yes, and under his term, he's also seen the biggest influx of people. The per capita rates haven't really changed much because there's only so much law enforcement going out there.
And under his term, he's
In
also...
fact, actually, I think it's per capita numbers, granted based on estimates, but they're working on the hypothetical idea of how many illegals come in versus how many are deported. And you'll actually find out that his per capita is actually at a deficit at what the per capita rate was under previous administrations, but that's more to do with the sheer volume of populace that's coming and the lack of adjustment to that populace boom, as well as obviously the huge amount of funding that's being cut because of the financial crash. What else you got?
But here's the thing, like, if progressives and conservatives both don't like someone, then one side has got to be making up stuff.
I'm sorry, politics doesn't just come down to conservative versus progressive.
Yeah, sure, but like, if those two groups both hate the same person, you know, it's probably got to be one side making the stuff up. Like, you know, if conservatives hate Obama, progressives should be loving him because the conservatives
not necessarily. Right? Okay. Here's the thing: Adolf Hitler. Right? Do all conservatives and all progressives share the same opinion of him?
Right, but I mean, but here's the thing: like, progressives say like he's far right, and then conservatives say he's far left.
Well, they're wrong. He was far right. He wasn't
even
progressive.
far. He wasn't even
no, you see, right? The reason why
he
conservatives say it is because there are a lot of dumb
centrist
conservatives
on
out there.
economics, just extremely authoritarian.
He wasn't a centrist.
On the economic scale,
he was still authoritarian, and he was still right wing. He's not as economically right wing as the neoliberalists are, who currently tend to hold power, which either fucking colour tie they try and wear.
The freaking Workers' Party.
Pardon? The Socialist Workers' Party. Yeah, I do understand my history,
Right.
and just because there's socialist in the name, it doesn't make him actually a socialist.
Right, like, he wasn't a Marxist socialist. He was kind of, you know, center-right kind of socialist.
He was centre-right.
Yeah, I see him.
He's not playing soccer, mate, is he? He's not playing football now. He's not striker.
Like he wasn't like some frickin' free market capitalist. And that's kind of what, you know, far right economics is. This whole
no. A free market capitalist would be the libertarian right wing, rather than the
on the
authoritarian.
economic scale, left and right is just economic, and Ron Paul is right-wing economic.
Yeah, you're right. Right and left is economic scale. That's exactly what I'm saying. And you can have authoritarian and libertarian economic left and right. You can have people that believe
economics, Hitler was center-right.
He was not center-right. Whilst he did hold some views which would be considerable on certain small topics, closer to a very broad definition of socialism, rather than a very, very, very weird definition of capitalism, he was still for the idea of private interest. His whole party was about getting people working, getting people earning, getting people paying.
Right, but that doesn't make him far right. It just makes him not far left.
The the whole private fucking currency sales is not a socialist.
But he controlled many different industries.
Yes, because there was no industry at the time, and what they had was more of a unionized oversee, which in some ways is beneficial. There are much better systems that have been proposed for doing it that don't involve government, but he was still for private interest. The government funded a lot of things. The government generally owned companies that it needed to own for the purposes of building weapons, for building vehicles, for building tools of war during
I think it's funny that
conflict.
People compare Trump to Hitler. Trump, on an economic scale, is way to the right of Hitler.
It depends on how you're using that term, economic right, but he would be a neoliberalist. So yes, he's more closer to certain things, but Hitler still had those views. Certainly more so than it made him a socialist.
Right, but I'm not saying
grasping.
he's far left or far right. I'm saying
I didn't say you were. Again, if you listen to the words I said, Mason.
Oh, okay. If you've seen the political compass,
That was
yes, I have seen the political compass. We were just discussing it. I was just explaining it to you.
Margaret Thatcher was way to the right of Hitler.
Margaret Thatcher is a neoliberalist. I know who Margaret Thatcher is. I grew up in the era of Margaret Thatcher. I was like 6 years old when she was deposed. I remember watching the television and seeing the current affairs programs about the downfall of Margaret Thatcher. I remember the takeover from her by John Major. I remember John Major was at a so-called dentist appointment when he should have been doing what he said he would do, which was defend Margaret Thatcher against the Conservative cabal. But he wasn't, and then funnily enough this guy becomes leader of the Conservative Party. Funny that. I also know that his job was to take them into a general election and lose, which is why they didn't fund his campaign that much. They just had him in a soapbox. However, this seemed to work, and John Major got elected, and so John Major spent another 4 years in Parliament before then losing to Tony Blair, who had brought New Labour from, more of a centralist position in general, where it had obviously moved from a more left libertarian position, and then had ended up closer to the Tories on both the economic and the social scale.
But Hitler's economics, they were broadly Keynesian, and they were to the left of some of today's labor parties.
To the left of some of today's Labour parties.
Yep.
Maybe some members within Labour parties, but
possibly.
But then again, that's like saying, the Dalai Lama is slightly to the left of Nelson Mandela.
But if you could get Hitler and Stalin to sit down together, avoid anything regarding economics, they would be probably finding a lot of common ground.
Yes, because if they both are authoritarians. They both had very authoritarian worldviews.
Whereas Stalin was an extreme authoritarian commie.
But yes, the Nazi Party was a far-right organisation, because of also what you got to remember is that Hitler also promoted things like family values. He promoted births. He promoted control over what you could name your child. So a lot of things which would make him not a progressive.
Obviously he isn't a freaking progressive, obviously.
You see, here's the thing, right? You can take certain opinions and you can try and say this opinion makes someone X and this opinion makes someone Y. The problem is that on certain issues,
you can have an opinion that's like, more progressive, and then another opinion that's more conservative.
And sometimes even to the extreme. I mean, if you look at that political canvas, right, if you just started answering questions, if you were watching it as you were answering all of the different questions, right, you might find, depending on how you answer it, on each individual question, that dot could move all over that fucking board, yeah? And if you were watching it in time after you asked each question, and it was sort of working out the average of what you'd answered as to where you'd be, you'd see the dots sort of jiggling around the place before it starts settling on one sort of spot and sort of hanging around there.
Right. But like the last time I took it, I got like 6 to the left and like 5 down.
Yes, you're a little bit more libertarian and a little bit more socialist than me, and
right.
Oh, nothing. Okay.
That was a good nap. Are you guys about done? Because I just took a 5-hour nap, and
Well, I've been trying to be done for a while.
Chaz, you don't understand. There's a way you can be done, and it's these words: Mason, shut up, and just ignore him. I mean, why do you have to constantly nitpick what he said? It doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what you say. Just like Chaz, I've when I get sick of debating you, I just say yeah, and just leave you to finish your words, and then just don't counter argument, because there's no point in counter arguing Mason. There's no point in counter arguing you, and quite frankly, I was bored because I don't give a shit about politics anymore.
That's good. We don't give a shit about you neither.
Because it's all just the same boring
I mean, you're blind. I can't
It's the same divisive nonsense that is destroying the country.
The country is not being destroyed, Mason. America will survive regardless of who the fuck, because that's all these fucking people. Oh, this is destroying the country. This is destroying the country. If Trump gets in, it's going to destroy the country. If Hillary gets in, it's going to destroy the country.
It's just going to lead to civil war.
No, it's not.
A war that might not even be survivable.
It is not going to lead to civil war. There is no.
If we take our guns away, it will.
I mean, granted, civil war will be really fun. Then
hold on. How can you have a civil war if they take your guns away?
Oh God, no, Chaz, don't, please. I don't.
Oh my God.
Just
dude, the gunners are just gonna fight back if they try.
Thank you, Chaz.
Right, you're making these gun owner people sound like the type of people who should be allowed to own weapons.
We have one viewer. Viewer, please join so we can derail this conversation.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's probably you accidentally signed in on a different browser.
No, we actually did get a comment. Whoever you are, viewer, please join so we can just derail this fucking conversation. Unless you like it, in which case I'm about to jump out a fucking window.
Oh, it's Tonya Galaxy, I know her.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. I'm about ready to just. I'm sorry. We're not a political show for a reason. It's because you get down to the generic. You get down to talking about politics, and I just look at it and I go, "What? Who cares?" I look at it because I've seen so many scares. I've seen so many. If Bush comes in, it's going to lead to civil war. If Bush gets reelected, it's going to lead to civil war. Then on the right, you have, if Obama gets elected, I'm going to. I've seen too many of these.
You're going to leave to what? Ireland? Dude, Ireland is more socialist than we are.
I didn't say Ireland. What?
I was talking about Bill O'Reilly when he was saying freaking he'd leave
I don't listen to Bill O'Reilly.
Gets in.
But
I don't know. Northern Ireland still hasn't actually ratified gay marriage.
But the thing is, guys, it's just I'm so jaded when it comes to politics. You guys started talking about politics, and yeah, a couple of years ago I'd been all into it. Now I just fall asleep. It's Chaz. There's a reason why I vetoed your idea about not talking about metal for most. It's because that's the only thing that really keeps me interested, to be honest. I could do politics and shit for about 20 minutes, and then I just get bored because it's just.
I didn't start this conversation.
You kept it going though. You could have just said, "Yeah."
I didn't hear you coming in. Right, now, come on. Well, let's talk about everything Elliott wants to. What does Elliott want to talk about? Come on, let's talk about this. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just going to type in metal, okay, and we'll talk about metal.
No, it's because I was making fun of you on PTR chat or Swine Brothers, which was actually a lot more fun. Did you see me?
No, I didn't. A brief history of metal, yeah? Shall we talk about this?
Go ahead.
It's good. I'm probably going to end it soon because I'm going to go to fucking bed.
So you don't want to talk about, the 1967 Before the Storm, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Purple Haze?
No, because I want to talk about metal with some... Well, okay, so the thing about... I mean, you guys are talking about, like, fucking... Mason was making points that were made 1,000 times, and you were refuting the points that were made 1,000 times. I mean, the best thing to do with that is just send him a book. Just send him a couple links. I mean,
They never do.
Oh.
So what sort of area do you feel is the sort of metal that you belong to?
Death and black metal. Well, and thrash from the 80s to about 93, and then the fucking bestial war metal, which, like Archgoat. And
no factions.
What?
No factions of metal anymore.
No factions?
No sections, basically. No subgenres. I'm not even really a metal guy anymore.
Yes, we know, Mason. Yes, we know. We
all understand. We all know you like Taylor Swift. Let's move on.
No, I like the Juliana theory.
He likes Nickelback.
I like the Juliana theory.
Mason, I have to ask you this. Why did you join all these metal groups?
Dude, it's because I actually wanted to get into some forms of metal music and all that.
But then you learned
I liked some metal. I wasn't a huge metalhead, but still, I liked metal.
But then you learned that there's a reason. I mean, extreme. Oh, someone's messaging me.
Yes.
Elliott's pretending to have friends again.
It's Eric. He actually had the good sense to leave. I should have just left and just left you to I should have just left it and just let you fucking talk and just
I'm not the one that invited him here, am I? Don't blame me.
You could have just said shut up.
I was trying to be nice to your friend. If you want, I'll be mean to him.
He's not my friend. How dare you?
Oh,
I'm on your friends list, dude.
So people keep school friends who used to bully them on their friends list just so they can creep on their life and occasionally feel like they've actually achieved something because they're not as much of a loser as that guy picked on them.
I was the one who helped him start this thing.
Mason is a nice guy, okay, but there's some points where you just need to tell him, look,
you have the wrong opinions on things. Please don't ever speak. Right, I've got you.
Oh yeah, I'm a non-interventionist. Blame me for not wanting to send your troops out to suffer and die in a war for profit.
I used to be a non-interventionist, but now I just don't give a shit anymore. I've long ceased caring. It's the beauty of apathy, Mason. Embrace it. But Mason, the problem with you getting into metal is you learn that how could it never go through your mind that wow, metal is an extreme subgenre. I wonder if a lot of its fans will be extreme.
Well, geez.
No, we're back to the conversation.
You can be a fan of extreme music and not want to, bash anyone who disagrees with you and act
Mason,
like a freaking...
It's called...
An religious
music.
Extremist.
It's called extreme music. Extreme music is going to...
I find it funny how you'll criticize atheist echo chambers, but when it comes to metal echo chambers, you're all for it.
Well, it's because metal's good, and it's because metal is...
Yeah, metal good, atheists are bad.
Okay. So what I'm going to do to you is I'm going to take your fucking body. I'm going to break drill bits in every fucking bone in your body. And I'm going to watch you scream. I've got tired of atheist echo chambers. You got tired of metal echo chambers. But the thing is that how could you not think that, I mean, metal is an extreme subgenre. Extreme breeds extreme. So how could you not know that? And it's not that it's when you tried to like claim that like Nickelback was metal or that nobody should ever have to. We see the thing is, Mason.
When did I ever say that Nickelback was metal?
We've spent years. Mason, defending metal from mainstream intrusions, from the glam era of the 70s, from the 80s, from the new metal era.
I said that post-grunge was metal, dude.
From the new metal era of the 90s. So when you come in and all that in the metalcore era of today, we're militant because we have to be.
So when you have to be an asshole to people you disagree with.
It's called extreme music, Mason. It's not being an asshole. It's called forgive us for expecting metalheads to be grown-ups and being able to take some criticism.
Well, there's a difference between criticism and, calling anyone who happens to like a certain style, a poser just because they like it. No matter what else they like, they could be the biggest death metal guy ever, but if they like one metalcore song, their credibility goes down the shitter.
As it should.
Because they like one song that isn't an extreme death metal song.
If you're not well, I mean, I call Jim a poser all the... See, I call Jim a poser all the time. Jim likes baby metal. I wish he was here, because it would be a much more interesting conversation. He likes baby metal. Jim likes...
That's one band.
Jim likes Weird Al. Jim likes fucking whatever the hell he likes.
Weird Al is actually kind of funny.
And I call him a poser all the time, but does Jim go, well, you're bullying me?
I never said you were bullying.
Does he go off with some anti-elitist? He goes, yeah, and you're a poser for the shit you like. And I go, yes, I am.
The point is, if you purposely try to, drive people who were thinking about getting into the genre out with your extreme rhetoric, it's just going to make, metal some sort of hipster genre.
No, because we drive the hipsters out too. Because you see, Mason, if you can't take our extreme rhetoric, why would we want you? Why would we want you in metal if you can't take our extreme rhetoric? Why would we want you? Why would we want a bunch of people who can't take any criticism or anything?
It's not even criticism. Calling a band poser just because they're not, talking about fucking God all the time.
What you don't get, Mason, is I went through the exact same thing you went through. I came in when I was 12 thinking that Slipknot and Dragon Force were the essence of heavy metal and every other band was bullshit. I came in thinking Slipknot was death metal, okay? I got laughed at out of the room so many times. Did I give up? No. They sent me links and I said, well, let's see, because I like heavy music. You don't really care for heavy music. I wanted to hear the heavy music. So when I said that Slipknot was the heaviest band in the world, somebody's like, dude, you need to listen. It was Dark Throne's Transylvanian Hunger. Yes, I didn't even go to death metal. So they sent me this. And I went from Slipknot to that, and it was like a new world opened for me. And yes, I had to deal with the teasing of me being a new metal and core kid, and I dealt with it. I accepted it, and that was the best lesson I ever learned. Because rather than running away, I said, well, what's the heaviest thing then? If you don't think Slipknot's heavy, what's heavier than Slipknot? There's nothing. Oh my God. That's heavy. It was like my
okay. I think the problem though with me and that sets me different from most metalheads and all that is that I tend to focus less on, whether or not it's brutal or not. I tend to focus more on melodies, lyrics, all that shit. And that's why I've, gravitated more towards, like, the Juliana theory, Sunny Day Real Estate, freaking emo stuff.
I like power metal, but even then, that's basically for when I don't. I mean, when I just want to act like a nerd. And I love power. I love melody. It's everyone thinks I don't like melody. My power metal collection is through the roof. But when it comes down to it, when I want metal, when I say I'm in the mood for metal, I'm in the mood to get my skull bludgeoned. I like bludgeoning.
Right.
So that's the thing. For me, it was always about, it wasn't about adapting my taste for the crowd or whatever. I literally wanted to find the heaviest bands in the world. But the only thing is, I was force-fed on a diet of mainstream garbage, so that I thought Slipknot was the heaviest band in the world. I legitimately thought you couldn't get heavier than that. Okay? I bought the first album, and my mind was blown. Then I heard something like Dark Throne or Cannibal Corpse Deicide. My head exploded. So that's the thing.
Your head's still on.
What?
Your head's still on.
No, clearly my brain exploded because I went to do the Swine Brothers episode.
Oh. Yeah.
I did this show called Swine Brothers, and that pretty much says all you need to know about where my intelligence is at. No,
did you come up with that based on the Fine Bros React bullshit?
No, that was Jim who actually came up with this, because it was originally Political Trendy Radio, which I wasn't happy with. And Jim said, "Why don't we call it the Swine Brothers?" And he explained why, and I was like, I can't think of anything.
Did it have to do with the Fine Brothers React crap?
Yeah, it was. Jim got something from a guy, and he said he could use it, so that's it. Yeah, it became. But I don't know anything about the Fine Brothers or what. I just.
There was this thing that they wanted to patent React videos for this thing called React World, and they could take down a channel like yours if you happened to react to something.
That's not entirely true. That's what people twisted what they were saying. What they wanted to try and do
was patent the name.
No, was to sell the format of their specific Fine Brothers reaction videos. Yeah, so you'd be another reactions channel, and so basically you could leech off of them. But unfortunately, they couldn't really do it because they don't really own that format, and they have no real.
Yeah, they don't own the format because they weren't the first person to do specific types of reaction videos, because reactions have existed long before these people were even fucking alive.
Well, not reaction videos on YouTube.
Well, not on YouTube. Of course not. But, you can't just patent something that everyone has been doing for years.
Well, to be fair, they weren't patenting reaction shows themselves. They were trying to sell the pattern of the show, and how the thing is set out on YouTube. So I could go to them, pay them some money, and I could use the Fine Brothers name, yeah, to try and basically leech off of them. It was a stupid idea. I could see why they thought it was a smart idea, but it was a stupid idea. It's the same as like the solar roadways. Like, they think that's a smart idea, and it's actually a stupid idea.
Right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I took another little nap.
Awesome. Can I join you?
Yeah, we were talking about the whole.
Anarcha
we were talking about that React World crap.
Anarcha would be very proud of the direction the show took. Because it's turned into another fucking.
What is Anarcha?
He left.
Yeah, he won't join a hangout while I'm here.
What, is it because he's a pussy?
Yep.
Yes, but no, he turned it into another generic politics show. Congratulations. See, I don't want it to be another generic politics show. That's why I focus on the music more than anything else, because I love music.
Talk about the bloody music then!
Well, we actually were until you came over here.
All I did was just quickly say something.
No, I know. Chaz,
he's referring to me, Chaz.
If I can't give you a hard time, who can I give a hard time to?
Me.
Well, not many people, because, not many people like the blind.
See, like I said, as much as he infuriates me, there's a reason why I keep him on. Oh, who's messaging me now? Stop messaging me, bitch. Anyway, we were talking about Mason, and Mason used to be into metal, but he was shocked that metalheads had extreme views. Extreme music breeds extreme views. Never!
The point is, if you want, the metal community to have a good reputation, you don't have to be so exclusionary like a freaking religious extremist.
It's called extreme.
Or a radical feminist.
You joined the wrong... You needed to join groups called, metalcore and pure deathcore with a bunch of noobs like you. You joined, that one...
Dude, I started with metalcore.
Oh, and the All Metalheads United group that said something about basically, if you call people a poser, you're a big meanie, and we're not going to take it.
Oh my god.
I got banned from that group, too.
You're bashing the group that my friend JT started.
Good. I don't care. I got banned from it for, I believe I called somebody a faggot, and I got banned for it.
No, you were telling people to kill themselves.
Chaz, how many times
do they deserve to kill themselves? Because if so, how can he really be blamed for that?
Mason, there's a genre of metal called suicidal black metal that encourages people to kill themselves.
Well, you were basically doing that in response to them saying oh, this isn't a hateful group.
Good. They should. I mean, there's no need for people like them in this world. Chaz, how many times have I told you to kill yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't counting because I generally didn't give a shit.
Okay. See...
But there has been a multiple of them, I'll confirm that.
Why don't people have thick skin anymore? I mean, whatever happened to...
Because parents have children, and then what they do is they go, oh, look at that, that's weak. I've got an idea, I'll make it much weaker.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I mean, it used to be kill yourself, right back at you. Now it's, I'm going to report you and your band, and you're a big meanie.
Oh, I think the problem is people are just tired of the exclusivity.
Don't start that now. Don't start churching it up and saying that you think, because that's clearly demonstrably false. Shh.
People are just tired of the exclusivity.
Metal should be exclusive. Metal should be exclusive.
Feminism should be exclusive to transgenders and sex workers. Oh, fuck you.
If you
hold on, Mason. Do you know what the law of identity is?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right, and there you go. There's your problem.
Metal is...
The law of identity? What are you even, what?
Google the law of identity, do some homework.
Metal should be exclusive. Metal is not a mainstream-friendly cozy little hangout for all the little friends. No, everyone's invited. Metal is, how many Archgoat songs do you know? None? Get out and don't come back till you know them. Metal is... I got into metal because I was tired of people feeling sorry. Well, okay, I got tired into metal because of the music. I got into the so-called metal community because I was so tired of people feeling sorry for me because I was blind and trying to include the blind kid and everything. And let's feel sorry for him because he's blind. Oh, you want to play with me? Oh, I don't really like you, but you can play with me. So metal was, they didn't care. They don't care that I'm blind. I have to prove myself that I'm worthy of talking to people. You know, if you want something inclusive, Mason, I suggest you go elsewhere because metal is nor should ever be inclusive.
The problem is like being hyper militant and basically saying that anything that doesn't fit your specific standards, because there's so many different types of metal elitists out there that even they can't even coexist. Even the elitists can't coexist. Thrash elitists, death elitists, black elitists, they are at war with themselves. How can they trust their own judgment just because of their own personal view of what they define metal as?
Most of it's because you can't resist talking about it. I mean, I'm friends with thrash lords, people who would rather die than listen to death metal, people who would rather die than listen to black metal, and I'm friends with all of them. And do we snipe at each other? Yes, but we don't constantly go
friends.
We don't go. I mean, I'm sorry, Mason. You brought it on yourself. If you were just, yes, let's live and let live, and yes, you can make fun of me for liking, but I can make fun of you for liking stuff. It's what do you want?
Is if they're at war with each other, how can they expect to be united against the common enemy, as they say?
Because even people, the united against the common enemy is a figure of speech, basically. It says, we're us and you're them. Fuck off.
And who came up with the standards of what metal is? Oh, metal can't have certain topics. Oh, metal can't have certain forms of melodies or certain forms of drum beats or certain forms of vocals. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
It means basically if it's more hardcore influence than metal, then it isn't metal. It can be good, it can be hard, but it's hardcore influenced. I mean,
that's it has hardcore influence and metal influence.
But what does it have more? If it has more metal influence, like As I Lay Dying would be considered more of the metal side of metalcore. Okay? I don't like As I Lay Dying. I can take them, but I don't really care if they're more on the metal. Whereas Bullet for My Valentine is not on the metal side of metalcore because it has very little metal influence in it. It has more clean vote. It's more on the poppy side of metalcore. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Okay.
So a band like Suicide Silence has much more hardcore in it than say,
Whitechapel.
Or Despised Icon or something like that. I mean, it's not just. I mean, granted, I don't like any of these bands, but I'm willing to admit that yes, As I Lay Dying is metal. Granted, a mainstream form of metal, but it is more metal than say, Bring Me the Horizon.
And nowadays, Bring Me the Horizon isn't necessarily metal, but that doesn't make them bad, in my opinion. Because I listen to more than metal.
I listen to more than metal too, but I don't like Bring Me the Horizon because I find them whiny and emo. I don't like emo. I used to like emo when I was 12, but I listen to punk. I love hardcore punk music. I love power pop. I like weird ass like symphonic gothic metal that I don't fucking know. Isn't really even considered metal, but I like that.
You probably wouldn't even like the Juliana Theory.
I've heard them. They're just not my thing. It's just I don't really like that kind of emo. I mean, I like depressive rock. I don't want I don't want my girlfriend died and so I'm sad. I want really depressing rock that makes me feel like ending it all. If I want sadness, that's what I'm looking for. Basically. Is literally the essence of depression. But I love hardcore punk. But yes, I am a metalhead. I am a diehard, full-blown, blood on the t-shirt, gore everywhere, metalhead with a fake sword. I used to have a fake sword even.
Why doesn't your real one work?
Oh God. Chaz, you don't know the pure joys of getting really high at 3 in the morning and watching the Home Shopping Network and wanting to buy everything that was on there and drooling over the crappy fake swords they used to have and just going, I don't want that, so Raz. Oh, good times.
So what you're saying is you're a sap that can be easily swayed by a bit of advertising.
When I was in the right state, yes, actually. Yes, when I was in the right state. Oh yeah, I could be easily swayed by a bit of advertising.
So what you're trying to say is advertisers are really trying to legalize pot in order to get people to buy more McDonald's.
Yes, this is a conspiracy. Alex Jones has spoken.
You cannot make this up. You just can't make this up.
I guess Scott showed me a video clip of him just going completely off his head at his audience the other day.
Go back where you took the gun, and you don't like it.
I'll tell you want to see a good one. There's one where he's like, they're putting stuff in the water that's turning the frogs gay.
Oh my god, I remember
I think they're
that
putting
one.
stuff in the water that's turning Mason more retarded. You know what I love about Mason though? We rag on him and yet
Hold
still...
on. You know what makes Mason retarded, don't you?
What?
His daddy's spunk.
You know what I love about Mason is we rag on him and yet he still comes back and he still is like nice to us. It's because he loves it.
I'm not gonna deny that. You're freaking right, man.
He loves it. But yes,
even though I have these opinions that I've kind of gotten more docile over the years. But,
Hey Mason, by the way, if you see Shane, tell him I'm gonna kick his ass.
Why don't you kick his ass on your own?
Just tell him that for me.
He said tell him. He didn't say kick his ass for him.
Because Shane, his little group got me banned from that account.
Are you talking about Williams?
Unpopular metal opinions, yes.
Yeah, Shane Williams. All right,
I posted one comment. I think it was like "Bring Me the Horizon" or just as gay as Slipknot or whatever, and I got banned from that. And they reported my comment, and then I got banned for it, and I had to jump through hoops to get my account back.
Ah.
So thank you to the Unpopular Metal Opinions. Oh, a bunch of tossers, really.
Hey, I actually agree with that. They're a bunch of faggots, really.
He convinced me that they were, because like, oh, everyone from Charles's groups is back, and I was like, oh, I'll join. Oh my God, and I posted one. This is back when I had my old computer where I kept having to, where my spelling kept fucking up because, well, what happened is I would post and then my computer would do something weird, and for some reason, letters I would type wouldn't show up on the status. I was like, okay. And I posted something about how all deathcore kids need to be shot. I got such a shit for that. I loved it.
Oh my god.
And
also groups like Pure Deathcore, they're just as cringy as the other.
I don't know why I'm in that group. I don't know how I'm in that group, but
the Pure Deathcore is cringy as shit.
But the funny thing is, a lot of slammers like deathcore or whatever, but yet I talk to slammers and we talk about slam, and I make fun of them for liking deathcore, and they don't care. I mean, I love slam. Slam is my thing, man. And people make fun of me for liking slam all the time.
Slam is your jam.
Slam is my jam. Who asked you, Chazzy?
No one. Remember, I don't need an invitation from the likes of you.
Yes, you do.
Remember, I'm your better.
In your own little dream world.
Like Glenn Greenwald.
Nope. When it comes to the Illuminati future, you'll be in the gas chambers, mate.
And you won't.
Send them to the gulag.
Nope. Well, certainly not before you.
As long as you go, I don't really care.
You won't be around to see it, though. That'll bother you.
If there is some sort of weird afterlife, though, I'll be seeing you there and I'll be going, haha, you're dead.
Yeah, you keep wishing for that afterlife. Never going to happen.
I don't really care if it does or not, to be honest. So shut the fuck up, Chaz. Chazzy!
You do know in the Illuminati future, I'll be made sovereign lord of the whole world.
We need Jim. I need a fellow metalhead on here.
Yeah, you just got to do with me. We can talk about something metalish.
Well, like steel.
Yeah.
You know, I could have gone back to sleep. I didn't need to fucking do this. I could have gone back to sleep, Chaz.
Here's the thing, Elliot. I want your opinion on something metal-related.
What?
I want to know what your opinions are on the idea that Nickelback reformed the whole metal genre.
What?
I'm not even going to comment on that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to comment on that. Bye.
Even I think that's bullcrap.
No, it's totally true. If it wasn't for Nickelback, you wouldn't have a lot of the bands being successful that are around now. You owe Trad Kroger.
I'm not even going to. I'd fire you if I was paying you.
Chad Kroger is a faggot.
Oh, now come on. That's very, very, very unfair. You know what, right? Gay people have a hard enough time as it is dealing with persecution without needing you throwing that word around, yeah, on the internet like some sort of insult. Because doesn't matter what you think of them personally, the gays are nowhere near as bad as Chad Kroger.
Yes. Oh, man.
Do you know what I did see that made me laugh? You know, after that whole North Carolina thing, I did see one post that made me giggle. It's just like, after North Carolina passes its laws, Nickelback threatens to throw a concert there in protest.
Oh, God, I remember that one.
My favorite video of Nickelback is the one where they were at some show, and the crowd was
Chad
booing.
Kroger has a great relationship with the blacks.
Do you want to know a good one?
Okay.
Chad Kroger was voted the ugliest man in rock.
Man.
As I was saying, so my favorite video about Nickelback was so they were playing some show and the crowd was booing them and they were like, "Do you want to hear some rock and roll? Or you want to go home?" And then somebody throws like a beer bottle at him and hits him in the head. I fucking love that video. They didn't even want to hear Nickelback. I love it. They deserve what they got, I think.
But yeah, I mean, imagine that. You're the ugliest man in rock, right? You're Chad Kroger. You've been voted the ugliest man in rock. Now think of some of the competition that you have for that title. Imagine how much that fucking stings.
Well, I don't know. Well, rock should be ugly, so maybe that's actually a compliment. Although he's a fucking pretty boy, so. But if I was voted ugliest man in rock, I'd say thank you. Because they ain't fucking pretty.
I mean, you've got people you're competing against like Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, but Lemmy didn't care if he was ugly or not.
Well, he had no fucking choice in the matter. Genetics kind of decided that one for him.
Yeah, but he played some ugly music. See, that's the thing. There's two kinds of rock. There's ugly rock and there's pretty rock. I mean, if you're like G.G. Allen, you don't want to be pretty. You want to be ugly and scummy. So if I was voted ugliest man in rock, I'd take that as a compliment.
And I guarantee you, if Chad Kroger was black, he would have been killed by a cop a long time ago. The fact that he hasn't been killed, it's called white privilege, bro.
What?
I think he was trying to make a funny. Don't interact with it.
I'm sorry. Where's that damn knife?
No, don't. No, it's going to go back to that place again. Shut up.
Where's that knife?
Don't encourage him, Elliot.
I'm just gonna start sloshing my throat. And just Jesus fuck. And you say I'm not funny, Chaz?
No, I've never said you're not funny. You're very funny. Funny looking.
Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
When I go to England, Chaz, which I will do, as you know, I'm going to knock on your door and Chaz and Mason. Yeah, it's me.
Hello.
You're gonna make crazy frog sounds at me.
What?
You're gonna make crazy frog sounds at me.
No, I was chainsaw. I'm just going to murder you with the chainsaw for that.
Whoa! I just saw this meme. It says your black music and it has a rapper, and my black music and it has a black metal guy.
So, Chaz, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? What have you been up to?
Thinking about suicide.
Awesome. Making some positive moves in your life. Then that's good to hear.
What are you posting on this Swine? Are you posting some pictures or something? What are you posting there?
I posted a clip from the what's it called? The Holy Grail, the Monty Python film.
Yeah.
It's the clip where he's talking to the Black Knight and he goes to walk away from him and he goes, "You make me very sad." Yeah? There was that. And then I posted the one, the Frenchman up in the tower when he pats his hands on the wall. That one too.
I
know, I do it deliberately because I know you're blind. So I can make fun of you and you've got no fucking comeback.
This show is just, every time we seem, I don't know.
You don't know what? A lot of things, good.
Every time we seem to, actually do something decent, we seem to go down the shitter, so.
What do you mean? Every time you do something decent, it ends up going down the shitter?
Like, we have some good episodes, and then we have an episode like this.
Oh, this one isn't that bad.
Yeah. Jesus is gay if he loves me.
It'll probably...
Mason, will you shut the fuck up? All I'm getting from you is the most try-hardest, edgelordiest fucking bullshit. Look, right, if you don't have anything ever to say, just don't say anything at all. Just basically go with that part. I wouldn't say if you don't have anything nice to say, but you just basically don't have anything to say. Can we leave it at that, please? Anyway, Elliot, what were you saying?
It'll probably get some views because of your political discussion, but I don't know.
Look, I tell you what, we can sit around for the next half hour and we'll talk about nothing but your faggy fucking taste in music. How does that sound?
No, because I need someone else who likes my taste in music, so that
I'll pretend for you, yeah.
No.
Just like it gives you the girlfriend experience, yeah.
Wait, what about girlfriend experience?
Have you not heard about this? Do you not know you can pay hookers enough to pretend to be your girlfriend? Like basically, the sexual fantasy that you fulfill is a girlfriend sort of role. Less sexual, but generally then does result in sex at the end of it.
I hope I don't ever get that pathetic.
Oh, trust me, mate. I've seen the...
We'll throw you in the safe space with the other commies.
Mason, the grown-ups are talking, right? I've actually listened to you talk. I can tell you, if there's anybody who's going to a prostitute for a girlfriend experience that I know, it's you.
Wait, Mason or me?
No, you.
Why me?
Wow. I mean...
Because you're blind and like fat chicks.
No, I was more going to mention the fact that he's blind.
No, I've had no shortage of actual meaningful relationships. Besides, it's not worth paying for.
Really? You've had no shortage? How's your love life now?
Pretty damn good, actually.
Come on, you're still in the shortage. It's like Florida with its
no,
water. No,
okay.
It is. It's like, no, we've got plenty of water now. No, you haven't. You still got a deficit.
Am I having sex at the moment? No, I haven't in a long time. But I'm at for more than just sex at this point.
Exactly. See, girlfriend experience. You've just proved my point.
With a British girl
You, sir, have been won on the internet.
I don't want a girlfriend experience, okay?
Well, that sounds like what you want. With the words you just said, you just literally...
Can I finish my fucking sentence for once? I mean, Jesus fuck. Seriously. I will not pay for it.
No, of course not. Eh? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I like how the guy who has a wife and kid is saying I should just go out and have a girlfriend experience, whereas I'm saying I actually want something meaningful.
Yeah, and what does that tell you? Extrapolate the data, think about the if, therefore, and Come back to me.
Yeah, I'd still rather do that than Chaz, I don't do one night stand. I've done it. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. Whatever. I know what I want in this world, and I know. And actually, things are looking up right now.
Yeah, I forgot about that famous metal song that was about, what I really want is marital commitment.
I didn't say I want to get married. I just want something that's a little more than. Besides, I usually hate songs that are about girls and pussy and shit like that. Unless
You like those more emotional songs, yeah?
No.
Emo. Elliott the emo.
Yes, I don't like. No, I like songs that are about murder, death, and gore.
I like songs I can actually relate to.
What, murder, death, and gore?
Obviously you can relate to that.
I mean, I'm not a sex hound. I've never been one. I've always wanted something a little more stable and a little more like actual attachment. But at the same time, I can't stand love songs. Love songs are fucking annoying. I'd rather listen to a song about raping the Virgin Mary, because, yeah, so.
I'd rather have a song like "If I Told You This Was Killing Me, Would You Stop" by the Juliana Theory.
That is the gayest thing I've ever fucking heard. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to talk anymore. Nuns, Cunts, and Darkness by Archgoat.
More of that gimmick music.
That's your opinion, but you're wrong because you're fucking jaded.
Objective fact.
And you fucking don't actually talk to the musicians like I do, because they're not fucking big rock stars.
Well, then why would I want to talk to them then?
Because if
they're not the top of their game, what really have they got to impart?
You're fucking okay. You talk to Eric.
I fucking set you off there, didn't I, Elliott?
You and Eric.
I fucking got you there.
No. You and Eric need to talk to each other, because he said the same exact thing, and I've spent years calling him a moron for this. You know as well as I do why, and if you don't know, then I don't have to bother explaining to you, because quite frankly, you're an inferior.
Mm-hmm. You didn't actually explain anything. All you said there was some vague claim to be being an inferior.
Well, I mean, why talk to him? Because you might actually become friends with some of the musicians you really like. Who knows? Because you spent enough time and they mention a band, and you go, hey, you like Monstrosity? I do too. And they're like, yeah, what's your favorite album? And we talk, and they're like, hey, and then I mean, fuck, I'm friends with a lot of my favorite musicians. So I like a lot of small bands.
Yep.
I don't care for a lot of the mainstream bands. Mason knows that already.
Right.
And why don't you like these mainstream bands?
Because they're watered down, gimmicky, as you say, and they're watered down. They're fucking. You'll never hear anything as brutal as. And he's gone.
Elliott, you still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Sorry, I think Mason had a bit of a lag fucking spike then, because you suddenly cut out and he disappeared.
There was an error on it. There was a call error, so I just came back. And who is this Mike Yerkzin? Who the hell is this asshole?
I don't like. Who is this asshole?
Mike Yerkzin, this dumbass who commented saying that, oh, you should get a better hobby. Stop talking about atheism.
Yes,
Stop talking bad about atheism.
See, stop talking bad about atheism. No, I like music that's more underground. It's more extreme, more raw. There's a lot of reasons I don't really want to get into because of it's. So the thing about Chaz, you met me a little too late because I've already explained everything to the point where I don't want to explain it anymore.
Well, you're just going to have to do it all over again.
Or you could just understand it without me having to explain it.
Well, if you don't explain it, how can I understand it? So you keep making these oxymoronic statements.
Because some things don't need to be explained. Some things are just known.
Oh, so these things are just magically known. Okay.
by people who are me.
Okay, but that's handy for you, isn't it?
And people and viewers on
my show. This guy's saying you're backing racists and homophobes? Who the hell is this guy?
Because he said something about how racists and homophobes should delete themselves, and I said, why not debate some of them rather than just block them out? I mean, my friend Jim debated them for 17 years and actually convinced a couple. But, you know, you're just going to block them out if you're fucking and he got all butthurt.
That's because he's stuck in his little freaking whiny echo chamber.
Here we go. I'm going to admit to being a Nazi.
Is this on that stage you showed earlier?
Hitler was a sensitive man.
Where is it? What about racists and homophobes?
He said you were backing racists and homophobes and all that bullshit.
Oh, I love him. Fucking asshole. Anyway, Chaz, you say something stupid for about 2 minutes.
Something stupid, 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 something stupid.
Shut up!
What the heck are you even talking about? Ah, I got him.
Elliott told me to say something stupid for 2 whole minutes, so I did.
God, people are fucking stupid. Okay, anyway, I'm ending the stream. Anyway, this has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 85 for May 30th, 2016. I'm very sorry the show went down the shitter. You can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers. I thought we'd gone through all this shit before. And Twitter is SwineBro666. For Mason, Chaz, Eric, I'm your host, Elliott in the Mood. See you Friday.